All right, we're in the last month of the seminar year in June, and it's June 9th. Let me say just a quick prayer before we get started, and then we will get going here. I appreciate you all being on here tonight. Lord, we just thank you so much for all of the girls in our unit, and I just thank you for the ones that are here week after week, and the ones that can't get on, or maybe the ones that don't even feel like they need to be on, but everybody's part of the unit, Lord, and we just thank you for all of them. And we do lift up Jody. We're sorry that she has to be at work, and we pray that it's not too much of an emergency and that it's not too stressful, and just be with her and help her to be productive. And we just ask that you kind of help us stay focused tonight on what we're going to talk about and help us to feel like we can get good ideas in our head. Lord, just provide us that for what we're going to do for the rest of the month in our business, and bring the people in front of us that you would have to be our customers and our new team members. And Lord, we just pray for anybody that's having difficulties or issues or problems. Lord, we just know that you're with all of us, and we just ask for your guidance. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Okay. First of all, did anyone want to say, do you know how much you sold this week, or do you want to tell me how much
Mm,
you sold this week if you know?
I do.
Okay, Debbie, what did you sell? Oh, you went mute all first. You
Unmute.
muted.
I thought I was unmute. Okay. I sold $128 in reorders.
Yay! That's always exciting. Does anyone else
Yeah,
know
I
what
was
they?
excited
Yeah, yeah.
because
Hey, every dollar counts.
I know I want to buy more Mary Kay stuff, so I needed that money.
Yes.
Some foundations.
Yeah, good for you. Does anyone else have sales they want
I
to share?
do.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
have
Dawn.
a $300 reorder and another $112 reorder. And the two customers are so excited at what I'm doing and offering them the 50% off on future items because for every $50 spend. So, like, one customer is getting two 50% offs, and I had a conversation with her and said the idea is to let you try some products maybe that you haven't tried, so I'm not following the flyer. I'm just
Okay.
following, hey, you did this much reorder with me and I'd like to show my appreciation, and then I will guide them into trying other new products, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the $300 reorder, she's getting six half price items in the future.
Oh, yay. Okay.
She's like,
Oh, that's
really?
good.
I'm like, yeah, you are. So we'll talk about that when
For
the
so
time
like
comes.
for every $50, they get one half price
Right.
item. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you can follow that, flyer, or you can do your own thing. There for a while, I used to make my own little flyer and focused on the products I was trying to move off my shelf. But you can do it however you want to do it. For sure, which is the freedom of our business. So that's good for it. And I did notice that you posted, if you have $100 day, definitely post it on our June $100 day.
Stop. Yeah.
It's okay. You can go back and do that, and that's under the featured section of the of our Facebook page for sure. So, okay, anybody else? Alexandra, do you know if you had any? Okay. So great. Well, that's good. And I sold about $768,
Wow.
and I didn't do a face this week, so it was all reorders, but I did have one customer um had ordered quite a bit. Let me trying to remember who that was. That's pretty sad, huh? You would think I would remember when it was such a big order. Um, oh, she lives in Oklahoma, and so she comes to town like every 6 months, and so she tends to stock up when she comes to town. And so that
Good.
was nice. So that was like a larger reorder. And then yeah, so now I wanted to remind y'all that our Friendly Feud Finish Line Frenzy starts tomorrow. Let me share that. Um, and it does not matter if you're doing something huge or not. Any sales tickets that you have starting tomorrow through next Monday, We want to know what your total number of sales tickets are. If you get any new agreements, which I can look and see if you have that, and it says a number of new faces in those 6 days, but if you do any faces this week, I would count it. And next week when we do our meeting is we have to have everything turned into me, which I will put a Google Doc out there for you guys next week on Sunday. You can just fill out the Google Doc that says 10 tickets, 0 agreements, or 10 agreements, or this is how many faces I did in these 6 days. And we're going to count it all up together. And so several directors from our former national area, we're all doing this together. So it's just kind of a fun thing. So that's, just kind of a focus this next week for sure. Yes, Debbie.
Is that counting from, you said starting today, and is that through Saturday?
It's tomorrow. It's the
I mean,
10th,
tomorrow?
10th through the 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Which that's really 6 days. The 10th through the 15th. And next Tuesday, the 16th is when we want everybody's numbers. So I'll put the Google Doc out there on Sunday because you can just fill it in the Google Doc if you want. If not, you can tell me at our meeting next week and I'll turn it in. And I think Roxy and I are going to be compiling all the numbers, and I am going to do some kind of prize. I don't know yet what it's going to be, but I'll do something fun for, anybody that turns stuff in, and hopefully collectively it'll just be a focus. And remember, I'm trying to come up with a challenge every month. And the challenge that I put out to you guys last week was to do 5 foundation matches or facials, or to have 5 people sample it and then share some company information with those 5 people. So that's kind of our challenge, which would fit right in with the June, friendly feud, finish line frenzy. Whew, kind of hard to get that all out in one word. So it's just kind of fun to collectively just focus here. And, especially if anyone's wanting to finish star something, this is right before that. So that's helpful. Also, when I get off the meeting tonight, I'm sending out texts and to see if I can get anybody on the event tomorrow night, because it's at 8 p.m. Central. It is the one that has the pro makeup artist, and she said she said that what she's going to be talking about is lips and cheeks and how to have lasting all day wear on lips and cheeks. And then she's going to talk about the brushes, like understanding which makeup brushes and stuff to use. So that's going to be kind of her theme of what she's going to talk about. And then, there's always a lot of people on that Zoom, but I have the invite on our Facebook page in the featured section. It's called Color Harmony with that pro makeup artist. So I'm going to try to get people on there because I'm hoping that'll help me get, I want to get people on there that hopefully will buy something, and I think it should be fun. I mean, with the pro makeup artist. So I think it should be fun. It'll be 8 p.m. our time. So that is tomorrow evening. So see, that's within our finish line frenzy. So I'm going to try really hard. I'm just going to go ahead and send some texts out tonight and see, sometimes last minute, it's 24 hours from now, maybe I can grab some people to get on that tomorrow evening. So for sure. And then there is a sharing event Thursday, and that one is with Beverly Taylor. She's $1 Million Sales Director. I don't personally know her really well, but if you had anyone that wanted to just hear the opportunity, they are giving away some free e-starts, and they're also giving away, one person is going to get a full starter kit. So that would be exciting, if your guest decided to sign up and they won that. So that is Thursday evening. The other thing, I had told Debbie this today, and I know Dawn, I don't have it in front of me because I have it on my calendar and I took it out of my room, but next Tuesday, are you already in Italy next Tuesday, Dawn?
No,
Okay.
I leave on Wednesday, the 17th.
Okay. I have it on my calendar. I just didn't have it in front of me. So what I'm going to do next week, what I'll do tonight is I'm going to go ahead and email you guys the link to Lori Hogg's foundation training. She did 2, but I actually think I'm going to show the first one during our meeting next Tuesday. totally okay for you guys to go ahead and watch it, see how it can help you, all that. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is something I could listen to more than one time, just to grasp everything. So I think I'm going to show that next Tuesday. So we're going to do a lot on foundations again next Tuesday, just because I've done some matching and stuff, but I like Lori's perspective on things and how to match. And she has models on there that have different skin tones. And so she tells you, what's best. And so anyway, it's good. And I think it wouldn't hurt any of us to watch it more than once, but I'm going to go ahead and send it to y'all. And if you want to watch it right away, you can, but then we're going to rewatch it next Tuesday night, for sure. Just to get a little bit, I don't know why with these particular foundations, there's just been more to learn about how to match with these and different things. And so she has a lot of good tips. Lori Hogg's really good. And I think I've already sent it to some of y'all, but she has a different conversion chart than what the company does. So I will email you that. And I'll also email you, she has like a whole sheet on like the ingredients, like why she sees why the ingredients are so good with these foundations. And so I will email you guys that as well. Just if that's helpful to you, if you're doing any foundation matches this week, and you want to go ahead and watch it. But we'll definitely watch it again next Tuesday night, and that'll be our training. Because she goes an hour. She was trying to keep it at 45 minutes, but she goes an hour. So we will do that too. So any questions about any of that? Okay. So we're going to wrap up our mindset week with this book. And, it's sometimes hard. You guys have to listen really hard to me when I'm going through this. But if this really interested you, you could always buy this book, or you could even get this book on Audible. A lot of these things are things that will help us, long term. But we're just going to wrap up the last 3 human drives. If you recall, there's 10 human drives that help us with a charged life. And I was thinking as I've wrapped this book up, it's kind of hard because we've done it over several months and you might not have kept all of your notes together. But I kind of was trying to think of what were the couple of things from this whole human drive thing. I'll tell you guys at the end what I think I got out of it. Because, you always want to be able to have something, 1 or 2 things that you really could implement or could really help you moving forward, because that's the whole point of us doing mindset training, right? So the 3 human drives we're going to talk about tonight, and I'm just going to cover them each a little bit briefly. 1 is creative expression, 1 is contribution, and the last is consciousness. So there was a statement that we said about each of these human drives, and the statement for creative expression is, and you guys can rank yourself on this statement, is I show the world my uniqueness by sharing my real thoughts and opinions. I feel creative in what I do for work and in other activities. My home, office, and projects reflect my own style. I'm living my own authentic life. So that one's kind of hard for me because, when you look at the whole DISC personalities or, all the different personalities, I probably wouldn't fall within, oh, she's got the mind of this creative person, like I don't really consider myself that. But like, I know Dawn and Debbie, you guys are very creative in like putting gifts and stuff together. And that's a creative thing. And I know, Alexandra, you've done a lot of dancing and stuff in the past, and that's very creative expression. And I do play the piano, but, I don't like write compositions or anything. I just play what I have. But part of that is creative expression. But I remember when I read this statement, when I was working with my coach on this, when it said, my home, office, and projects reflect my own style, I thought, at the time I did this, which was in February of 2024, so that's over 2 years ago, I was talking about how I thought I could work better in Mary Kay if I created a more specific workspace for myself. Because even all these years I've been in Mary Kay, it'll be 27 years in this month, I've never truly had a Mary Kay office until now. So when people tell me I don't have a lot of space, I don't have an office, I'm like, I didn't have an office either. And I've done this, I did it a lot for my dining. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff at my dining room table. But now that my kids are out of the house and I'm slowly getting rid of furniture and all of that, I am making my daughter's room my office. And so I do think, it's kind of exciting. I'm going to get the walls painted and I'm going to get new curtains. And I feel like some of that does kind of help you work better, if you can create kind of a space for yourself. So that for me, that was what the creative expression would be. But it could be, you guys do this as Mary Kay consultants all the time. Like, Dawn, it's a creative expression to come up with, this is what my promotion's going to be, or, like, this is what I'm going to focus on this week, or this is how I'm going to talk to clients. I mean, we really do use creative expression. I just feel like I don't always think of it that way. But I think it's important too in Mary Kay to, we tend to listen to these directors or other consultants, or we see what they're doing, and we can copy other people and we can emulate other people's ideas. But I think it is also really important to be authentically you and to pick things that fit your personality, that really show you. So he says, there's nothing more powerful in life than allowing our own individuality to shine through, to light the world with our own uniqueness. And so I think it's important to remember it's hard in Mary Kay, I think, sometimes not to compare ourselves with others, because the way we do recognition and all the things, we tend to compare. But really, you just need to work in your strengths and whatever your uniqueness is. It says you are who you are, and you are different from others because of the unique way you express yourself. It says when you feel in touch with your creative side and express it consistently, you feel more alive and engaged. And so I think that's an important part of who we are as consultants and as people. And he says that activating that creative expression in yourself is one of the fastest strategies to find happiness and fulfillment in your life. So that's something to think about, because I tend to say I'm not the creative one. I'm the taskmaster one, and I know the steps and all the things, but we really use creativity a lot in Mary Kay. So I think that's important. And so he has activators for everything. So he said to amplify your creative expression, that's your activator with creative expression. And that could be the way you write your emails. That could be the way you dress, the way you decorate your home. That, that may be just how people see you as their Mary Kay person. Let's see. I didn't want to spend a ton of time here, but he said one of the ways too that it's kind of fun to like just study people and other things and kind of see how that fits for you. And even ask yourself, how do I become more creative? He said, watch people explore the world, all of those things, like, that helps you become more creative. And he talks about, it made me really think about my office, because he talks about rearranging your living room, changing the layout of your presentation, matching your outfits, like all of those things are creative expression. And he thinks if you create more, then you can share more with others. And so definitely sharing more with others. So that's that. I mean, it's of all the drives, that's not the one I like to focus the most on, but I do think it's important. And probably if you think about things that you do create and you feel good about those things and you share those with your customers, it is exciting and it does feel good. So it's a good thing for you. The next one is the contribution. And to me, this is the one that for myself personally, I relate to more. But his statement for contribution is, I feel my efforts each day are adding to something meaningful. I'm giving good things to the world. I sense my contributions matter. I find my work in life to be important and purposeful. So I think that is an important thing because I think that all of us that are on this call anyway have been in Mary Kay for a while. And so sometimes, you're so excited with Mary Kay when you first started. And then we go through ebbs and flows, ebbs and flows. And so sometimes I think we can get a little complacent. And if we we look at how much we sell every week and all that, but really I think to all of us that have been in Mary Kay for a while, it's yes, it is a way that we make money, but I don't feel like that's why we always stay. And so those of us have been in a while, there's more to this than just making money. And so I feel like that's kind of where contribution, I feel like that's how, contribution kind of fits in. So he says, it's important to us to want to know that we have a significant part in shaping the world around us. Our desires to add value, give to others, express ourselves, create unique things, and join groups and organizations are often all in hopes of making our mark on the world and making some kind of difference. And so I feel like as Mary Kay consultants, we are like that. And we are a part of a company that's important. It was important to Mary Kay to change the lives for women, right? And to enrich women's lives. And also through the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation, which I think is important to all of us in a sense. I think to some of us more than others, but that is kind of a way that we feel like we're contributing. And he talks a lot about giving. So activator number 1 is give of yourself. So he says there's giving to people and there's giving of. So giving of yourself is by giving the best of ourselves to everything we do, we exert our highest and strongest selves. And when doing that alone can make us feel that we're contributing. So regardless of whether you're changing the world, if you just go out each day and give the best of yourself, that's going to help you with your business, right? If you're giving the best of yourself, then your customers are going to feel that and they're going to know that. And so then they're going to want to continue to be your customers. And so then it's going to help you build a more successful business. So it says, just recognize the fact that simply being who you are is contributing significant to the world. It doesn't mean we have to do these huge, big things, but that's giving of ourselves to everybody around us. So that kind of goes right along with what we learn in Mary Kay about making other people feel important, right? And giving to people is the second activator. It's giving to others and a broader causes outside of ourselves with the direct intention of making an impact. While giving of is really about mobilizing our internal resources, which often ultimately leads to an impact in the world. Giving to is also about mobilizing our resources within the specific intent to contribute to something directly and specifically. So I think just think of the people that are around you, whether it's for a Mary Kay thing or not. Like, have you guys ever thought that when you go into a store, and my husband has reminded me of this on a couple of occasions, but if you go into a store and then things don't go right, or you get irritated with someone at the grocery store, or even when we're driving and we have our Mary Kay sticker on our car, do we want to come across, even if we're not doing anything related to Mary Kay at that moment, do we want to come across as this mean, not nice, impatient person? Because we never know who else, what if that you're mean to that person and the next thing you know, they end up at your Mary Kay party. Like, in general, we want to present ourselves in the best possible way when we're out everywhere. Right. And especially, I know, Debbie, you go out a lot to talk to people about Mary Kay. So you're going to want to put on your best face forward in terms of how we treat people and give to people. Right. So just those are common sense things, but helpful to us as a person. And we're going to feel better about ourselves if that's the way we're contributing to the world. And And then he also said one of the ways that you can contribute is to mentor someone else. So, when we recruit new people, we try to do that, right? We try to mentor our recruits. And so that is a way that it also is kind of helps that drive of contribution because you feel like you're helping someone else. So I think all of this really fits with what we do in Mary Kay. So he talks a lot about contribution, and contributing is going to make your life, you have a more charged life because you're actually helping people. And so then the last one is consciousness, which I thought this was kind of the deepest one. So the statement for it is, I feel present and mindful each day. And Debbie, after our conversation today, this made me think of you. It says, I'm being conscious of how my thoughts and actions are creating my reality. I sense I'm connected to something beyond myself or feel a high level of awareness. He goes through here and talks about your health and making sure you're sleeping well and taking care of yourself. And, we were talking about that a little bit today because he said that we truly can't always be happy and we're not going to do great like if we haven't had enough sleep. So we were talking about sleep today, Debbie and I were, so it made me think of that. But consciousness is really, it can be kind of a deep thing, but it's thinking of yourself and also surroundings, but also thinking, okay, there's something more in our life. So for all of us, I feel like we would say God is, what we attain to know. That's who we attain to know. And that's where we get our consciousness from. And he kind of goes through some of that. If we are more conscious or aware of ourselves and our environment, we are simply better attuned and more adaptive. And he's also talking about, and I feel this way in our unit right now, I feel like we have a lot going on. Like the company has a lot of different things going on. We all have a lot of personal things in our life going on. And so it's kind of hard to stay, I guess, conscious or focused on what we need to focus on every day because we're going this way and that way and we're doing this and we're doing that and we're still trying to run our business and we're trying to take care of ourselves and all of the things. So sometimes you have to ask yourself, am I really in the moment? Like, am I really, experiencing every moment? Am I enjoying every moment? Or am I always worried about what's the next thing I got to do? Like we have a tendency to do that. So he's talking about being very conscious of your current moment, where you are in your life, and also what you're thinking about. So he thinks we got to be conscious of our thoughts. And I have mixed feelings about this. I do believe that you can, he feels like you can will yourself to be happy and you can will yourself to be in a good mood. I think part of that's true. I think sometimes people are in a situation where they can't just make themselves be happy, depending on what's going on in their life. But he has a good point. You can't sit around and just, drain yourself emotionally just going through all the bad things that are going on. So we know that if we think positively and we can kind of will ourselves to feel a little bit better, right? And he said it's much easier to feel sad, frustrated, and uncertain when we're physically exhausted. And so that's what I was thinking today. Debbie and I were talking about sleep. So that's why it's really important, when we've talked about this in Mary Kay a lot, that you have self-leadership over yourself. Am I eating healthy? Am I sleeping well? Am I hydrating? Am I exercising? All of those things are important if we want to be, mentally and physically healthy. And I think when we're mentally and physically healthier, we do better in our business because we're not so tired. We can think straight. We have the energy to do the extra things we want to do, because Mary Kay takes energy, doesn't it? Like, you got to be up when you're doing a party and you've got faces in front of you and all of the things. So it's important that we are physically taking care of ourselves. And then he says, be conscious of your own behavior. and be conscious of others that are around you. So, and how you interact with those people and of what they're doing. And then he said to ask yourself these questions. Am I moving forward in life at the speed I wish to? Am I taking the necessary actions to do so? And am I managing my thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and relationships in ways that help me progress, grow, and contribute? And so sometimes that's challenging because I know in my own life, I sometimes have to, even if it's family, I have to maybe not be with those people as much. When they're your family, they're your family. But you have to protect yourself sometimes a little bit. And so, sometimes you have to set boundaries, with some of those people around you because you want energy givers. And so that's the exciting thing about Mary Kay. Hopefully every Tuesday night when we meet, this is energy giving, not energy taking. And so that's what we want to do for each other. And then let me see if there's any thought. I already talked to you about being present in the moment and trying to enjoy each day, every minute, and not be constantly thinking, because I have a tendency to say it out loud a lot. Oh, I'm behind. I'm behind. I have this many things to do and I'm behind. And so that does not help me get ahead by constantly saying that I'm behind. I need to just enjoy the moment where I'm at, do what I'm supposed to do, and then move on to the next thing. And so, I mean, these are practical things, but it does help you in your everyday life, if you can work on that. So, okay, so a final thought is about this whole book. The Charged Life urges us to transcend our normal ways of thinking and shift to a higher gear by better controlling the dashboard of our lives. So it's also challenges us to find higher purpose and meaning in our own human experience. So let's just kind of go back a little bit. Remember there was 10 drives and the first five were the baseline drives, and the last 5 we did were the forward drives that really help us move forward. So we had control, competence, congruence, caring, connection, change, challenge, creative expression, contribution, and consciousness. And so if this stuff interests you, I would definitely get his book because I think these are things you could read over and over. Like I did this whole thing with my coach it took us a whole year. We spent like a month on each one of these things. Like we did a whole month on control, a whole month on competence. And so when I look back at this, I mean, there's just little bits and pieces of things that I have taken from it. But when I look back, if I was just going to pick like 2 things that I would try to implement, one of them would be congruence, and that's where you're living in alignment with your values and who you want to be. Treating others the way you hope to treat I treat others the way I hope to treat people. I'm honest and trustworthy. I feel I'm living in integrity, what I believe and tell people. So it's that living in integrity thing. So like we can say, this is what we want for a Mary Kay business, or this is what I want for my physical health, or this is what I want. I mean, even now when I look at how long it's taken me to get this office together, have I really been congruent? If this is truly important to me, why has it taken me 2 years to do this? So really, that's not really living in, if this is really important to me, it shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So that congruency is probably the drive that I get the most thought process from, because I want to live in a way that I say I want. If I want to lose weight, then I have to do things to lose weight. So I have to exercise and I track my food and I have to drink water if I want to be healthy. Like I just have to do that. But I can't keep saying that that's what I want to do and then never do any of that. That's not living in congruence. So congruence for me is one of the main things. And then the other thing that I think and I've told you guys this already, that I'm really going to utilize in our new seminar year is under challenge. And challenge was, I push myself at home and work to be a better person. I often attempt difficult things. I look forward to a challenge. I make bold moves and I bounce back after setbacks and stay persistent. And one of the things he does is gives himself a 30-day challenge. Every month he gives himself a 30-day challenge. So I've decided that I am going to give our unit a challenge every month. And I'm going to try to make it where every level could do it. So this month, we're focused on these at least 5 foundation matches or facials and sharing that marketing information or business information with 5 people. That's not like over the top. Like everybody could do that if they're wanting to build their business at all. So I'm going to try to like start giving a challenge every month, and we'll try to stay focused on that because I also feel like there's just so much information. You know, there's all these different things that Mary Kay's offering, and we're throwing new information every week on Tuesday nights, and it just can be a lot along with the technical things that we're learning, which we're always learning new things technically too, right? So I feel like challenge might help us stay focused. So those are really the 2 things that I'm taking away from this book that I'm going to implement right now. And of course, I got other things out of it, and I don't know, since you guys didn't read the book and you're just listening to me every week, has there been anything that you can recall that you really would be a takeaway for you, or any one of the human drives that you want to focus on? I know it's hard when you don't have it in front of you.
You just, I'm taking the book on my trip with me since I will have so much relaxation, open air reading time. I'm definitely going to take this book with me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I think it'll be good. And you know, if you guys don't follow him, the author is Brendon Burchard, Burchard. You know, he's on Facebook and Instagram. He posts lots of good things, you know. He has other books, but I thought that this was pretty good. And we're going to start doing in July we're going to start doing Atomic Habits, but I may switch which week of the month we do the book thing, our mindset training. Which reminds me, the other thing I was going to ask y'all, and I haven't gotten it together, and my plan is to try to get together in the next 48 hours. But I don't know if y'all remember last year, I sent you guys a Google Doc at the end of the year, at the end of the seminar year, just asking questions about what kind of recognition you want, like what kind of prizes you like. And I do need to know from everybody, and I know not everybody's on meeting, and so not everybody knows each other, but I don't like to pick the Go Give winner in our unit. I did pick that person for years and years, but I would like to have input. So that's the other thing I'm going to put on there, is for you guys to tell me who in our unit you would, vote for as Go Give, who's someone that's been helpful to you without expecting anything in return. So I know we know we have a unit of 140 people. Did you guys know we have 140 people in our unit? And they don't all come to meeting, so we don't know everybody. And we do have a lot of people that are like personal use plus, they are personal use plus they sell to just a few people. And then we've got some people that just have been in Mary Kay a long time. They just kind of do their own thing and they just don't come to meeting, and they've got a pretty good customer base. So, but I'm going to try to send this to everybody because I want to, and because I also want to get feedback on meetings a little bit and that kind of thing. And, I was doing that Sisterhood of Success in the Facebook Messenger for a while, and then I quit doing it. We have people in there that don't want to be in there anymore. So, think about if you want to continue that. I was thinking if I did it in the next year, in the next seminar year, we might focus on whatever the challenge is for the month and really focus on what things you could focus on every week to help you meet that challenge. And that would be the kinds of things I would put in this Sisterhood of Success. But I do want your feedback on that. And, we've had meetings on Tuesday nights forever and ever and ever. I may even ask the question, do you want to keep it? Do you like Tuesday nights? Would you rather do Monday nights? Would you rather do Thursday nights? Does it make a difference to you at all? I do think, and you guys can give me your input on this, Janice Trude will retire in January, but we have 6 more months that we can continue to participate in her Wednesday and Thursday night things. So I think it's worth it to keep doing it for 6 months. And I honestly don't know if there'll be another national take that on or not. But while we have it, I'm thinking, we might take advantage, keep trying to take advantage of that. I don't know if we'll have anything else like that when she retires. And so we may have to, just do our own thing. But I think it's kind of opened us up to some new things like this, professional makeup artist and stuff that's going to be on there. And you guys know, even if you're not on live, you can go to Janice Trude's YouTube channel and rewatch any of the stuff that she's done on Wednesday or Thursday night. She records it all, and it's all on her YouTube channel. So you just find Janice Trude, and you can go watch any of them. So say you can't be on tomorrow night, but you really want to watch that makeup artist, you can do that. I know Dawn's gone back and watched several things. Wednesday nights are not the easiest for me to get on, but I definitely want to get some people on while we're doing this frenzy, and want to get some, because I want to get some more sales this week. So that's my plan. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I'm going to try to get you guys the Google Doc by this weekend so that you can fill it out. I would love y'all's opinion, because you guys are on the meetings, and so you're a little bit more in tune to what's going on with the company and all that stuff. So, okay, any thoughts, questions, opinions?
Just a very big thank you for tonight. Even though we're small tonight, missing Stephanie and missing Jody and whoever else,
Mm-hmm.
I just really like the way you gave us the higher level, ended it, summarized it. I don't know. It's just kind of hit me in the right way right now, especially while I feel like I'm trying to manage all these different Mary Kay multiples,
Yes.
getting people to listen to the marketing plan, and getting people booked for foundation matches, and working on sales, of course, and 24 by 24.
Mm-hmm. I know it's a lot. And then we have the $1,000 drawing this month too, if you have people that want to watch that. And I can individually send you that link if it's easier. I know it's a lot of things. So I think for each of you personally, figure out what you personally want to focus on, because I know it's a lot of things. So, and I don't want a confused mind, because a confused mind does nothing. And I don't want that for you. So I know Debbie has a party next week, so she's focused on that. And I know, Dawn, you're trying to get a lot done before you leave town. And so, just pick what is going to work for you of all the things we've got going on, and you just stay focused on that. And if you sell something this week, we'll just add up all your sales tickets. I mean, whatever it is you focus on, we'll just include it in our frenzy. And it's funny that we're calling it frenzy, because Dawn, we feel a little frenzied. Yeah. Oh yes, you're going for $10, $50 orders this month. Yeah, that's good. And one thing I will point out, just to remind y'all, because it is confusing. It is very confusing. But when you're doing your orders, if you're not currently active, make sure when you do your order that you're hitting $4.50 retail. Don't just look at the wholesale, especially if you're getting any of those 60% off items, because what you don't want to do, like we had someone yesterday that was an A3 that really wanted to be active. They ordered 438 retail. Okay, so she still got her 50 and 60% off, but she was an A3, and so she was only like $7 away, to make sure that then she's got, she's active. Because if you get my shop orders, the other thing happens, a few people are getting inactive for 1 month, knowing they're going to order in that month, but then they get a my shop order and they're only making 30% off of it, which is better than nothing. But if you want to make the 50%, then you don't want to get to inactive, So it's a lot of things to look at, and it's hard to keep track of all that. But just if you have a consultant or if you currently are not active and you're about to do an order, just really watch that retail and don't miss out on getting your 50% off or, being so close to being active. You know what I'm saying? Like watch that retail number so that you're not like, man, because then now she's going to have to do another order if she wants to make sure she is an A1 and has 2 more months so that people can order off her My Shop. So, you know what I'm saying? So just kind of watch that. And if you have any consultants that are ordering, I'm trying to drill in everybody's head. The company's kind of switched their thought process. They were always looking at wholesale, and really they're looking at retail now on a lot of things. So it's a different way of thinking for someone that's been in 27 years. And I've always looked at wholesale. So, I mean, when we look at our car numbers look at wholesale, but our $300,000 club is looking at retail, which, when we're 50% off in the past, it didn't make that much difference. But when you're looking at 60% off on this discount, or you're looking at 30% off, it makes a difference. So just FYI on that. Anything else you guys have? Any other thoughts? Any questions? Okay, when I get off here, I'm going to email you guys all the Lori Hogg video.
I'm sorry, what time is tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night is 8 p.m. Central, and I can send you, Debbie, the picture of the invite again.
Is it on our website?
It is. It is. If you go to the featured, go up to the top of the featured, and it's pink, and it says Color Harmony, and there's the Zoom IDs on there, and there also you have to have a password. The password's MK Pink. So that's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. our time. So
MK Pink, all capital letters. It doesn't work if you don't do MK Pink in all caps.
That's a good point, Dawn. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, it is all caps. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. And I need to make sure I tell my customers that, that I'm trying to get on so that they don't have trouble getting on, that it is all caps. So, okay. Anything else? Okay. I will email you guys that Lori Hogg stuff when I get off, and we'll do more foundation stuff next Tuesday. And thank you guys for your time and for listening.
Thank you, Angela.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.